Loud pipes save lives. It's not just an idle little phrase. When you first came up with that? The noisier you are, the more aware of you people are going to be. But you wouldn't want to live next door to a family of cruiser riders or something who go outside and play tunes with their throttles all day long. And then the more visible you become as well, and that's what we need on a bike. Hello! I sit out here with a bourbon and my little friends, yes, and a cigar, to talk about noise pollution. Loud pipes, noise pollution? Or would you prefer the silence of an electric vehicle? I definitely wouldn't. I wrote down earlier, and it's very, very quaint. North Devon described noise pollution insanely. North Devon says, a significant and unreasonable noise. Oh my word, there's a rat. Oh my word! Right, I'm going to start again. North Devon says a significant... I can't believe it's come back again. Stop it. Right, I'm starting again. North Devon says a significant and unreasonable noise that affects you, wait for this, in a significant and unreasonable way. Well, that's totally ridiculous, isn't it? Because if it affects you unreasonably, you shouldn't take it seriously, should you? Because you're just being unreasonable about it. Anyway, we could go into semantics. West Devon describes noise pollution as an unreasonable interference with the enjoyment of your property. That's more like it, isn't it? The North Devon one is just totally insane. As I was saying, is it armour defence, which it obviously is, anyway, or is it noise pollution? Well, it's probably both. When you're on a super bike or something like that, sports bike, even if you've got relatively noisy pipes, by the time you hear those pipes, you're going to be past you. So it doesn't offer much protection. You're hoping that the protection that you do have is your speed. But then again, that can be also a vulnerability as well. Okay, this is interesting. There was a study done in Romania, but I've lost who did it. And they said, oh, it was done by the Association for the Development of Motorcycling in Romania, in conjunction with the Department of Road Vehicles at the Polytechnic University of Bucharest. So they said that they found the quote, "Loud pipes save lives," to be a myth. They said that with lots of these things, the study areas are flawed. Perv! So they said they used 6 motorcycles in the test, and the sound of each red line registered between 80 and 110 decibels. So they were saying that a motorcycle parked 50 feet behind a car, none of the motorcycles in the test can be heard inside the car. Parked 33 feet behind, even the noisiest motorcycles tested can hardly be heard inside the car. Parked next to the car, 1 bike is heard, 3 others can almost be heard, but the study states, unfortunately, it is too late then to be safe. And then it said, parked in front of the car, the motorcycles cannot be heard. I find this insane. I know that I can be heard. I know that cars can be, I can't even see them. I'm riding along and they're in the distance, and then maybe they'll go into a local shop or something like that, and then I do, and then they look really, really happy and they say, "I heard you coming from way back there," or something like that. So this study says that in modern motorcycles, sound insulation is so great that you can't hear motorcycles. I think that's utter and absolute nonsense. There you go. Scientific analysis from... When I'm filtering through traffic, I give a lot of throttle so that people go, "Ooh!" and then they're aware of you, and then they move over. It's weird actually, some people don't. Some people move into you on purpose. I've had that a few times. That really annoys me. Loud pipes save lives. Truth or myth? Do you like loud pipes? Or do you prefer the silence of an electric vehicle? Definitely not me. I think there's so much danger in electric vehicles. I think electric vehicles, if they had some sort of sound producer or something like that, can you imagine? Woo, 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 some sort of siren going off. That's the thing. They say in that study, Perf, that you can't hear the exhaust of a noisy motorcycle, even if it's right in front of you. But how far away do you have to be to hear the police or the ambulance or the fire engine or something siren? So I think it's a load of nonsense. Obviously you don't want... And why would the emergency services use noise to alert car drivers to get out of the way and that there's an emergency if noise wasn't... Well, if the noise wasn't effective in alerting car drivers? It's just nonsensical. Basically, it's an essential part of your armour. It's quite funny, you can be riding along and then somebody's in their own world in the car or something and suddenly you hear the noise and you can see the shock. But they're aware, so it's much more sensible. Anyway, there'll obviously be a noise level, which is deemed to be a nuisance. But if you're just passing through with loud pipes, I don't see that that's a problem. And for me, I always find... I say these things, and it makes me laugh, but it's probably not funny. Sometimes I can be riding down a sort of narrow street with cars parked on either side. And then I set car alarms off. And I quite like that because it's funny. And when I set off and I'm next to a car in a car park or something like that, and just the noise of the bike sets the car alarm off. I think it's really funny. But of course, that's going to be an absolute nuisance to so many people. I mean, even with my cruiser with the Chinook, I took the mufflers out of that. Argue it with me if you dare. No, if you like. I'm sitting up here in the garden and all I can hear are the birds. Can't hear any traffic, which is really lovely. But friends and I did used to, you know, if we were sitting somewhere having a drink and listening to bikes going past or something, we'd say, oh, that's a something something, and that's the other thing as well. You can tell a bike from the noise that they make, can't you? That a motorbike makes is our only armour, really. That's why I get disturbed with electric bikes and their silence, and indeed not just electric bikes but electric cars as well. I wonder how many fatalities there are going to be involving, how many more fatalities involving electric cars, not just with humans but with animals as well, because you just can't hear them and it's slightly disturbing. I hate to think of all the deer that will be killed, or the badgers or the foxes or something, because they just don't hear electric vehicles. But then some people love the sound, some people hate the sound, and it's really funny. You'll be riding along and then you'll see children, little children, do that, try to guard their ears from the noise because it's too much for them. And then often young boys, sort of 10 or 12 or older or something, and you're riding along and they'll go, they'll want you to rev it for them, and then you rev it for them and they get really, really excited and love it. That noise is exciting, it's part of the motorbike and it's exciting. But more importantly than the excitement, it's the safety angle as well, that you are making a noise, you are making yourself heard on the road. But I remember being somewhere recently and they were just normal. I wasn't talking to these people, but I could hear them. So a cruiser went past and I heard this woman say, it was so disgusting, all that noise, it shouldn't be allowed. But I thought, well, for me it sounds really thrilling, it's really lovely. But it's not just that, they are aware of them. And that's the important thing, isn't it? So if you're on a little bike or a quiet bike or something, I think that you are so much more vulnerable on the road. I'll say goodbye to you now. From the perfect quiet of my little corridor of love. That sounds really bad. My little corridor of creation. Okay, just this little part where the hens roam and the magpie calls to us. But what is noise? Sometimes I take too long to put a video out. Too long. Or maybe not long enough. Longer than I mean to. But today I thought, I know I'm going to be really good. I know exactly what I'm going to do. But it's pouring with rain, so I can't do it. But I'll tell you what I was going to do. I was going to attach 2 motorcycles together with a rod and connecting switches and throttle cables and and I was going to straddle them both and ride through the lanes of Devon, cutting people down as I went past. Like a Roman riding into some sort of weird battle. That's what I was going to do, but unfortunately it's raining and I can't do that, or maybe I wasn't.